So so the one that I'm taking you through just now is the local authority document. Also in the pack is a little handout which is the property owner one in print, which is this one. So you can see it will be slightly different. This one that I'm talking through is the one that we designed mainly to speak to local authorities and so on. So step one is understanding the risk. It's about getting a proper flood risk mitigation survey, just to get a fuller appreciation of what technologies are most appropriate. And it should result in a detailed picture of what mitigation and resilience technologies are needed. Although it's best practice probably to get an independent survey, but a lot of companies are starting to offer this service as a package. Step two was possibly the most difficult one to do, because there's no one-size-fits-all advice. Different local authorities will have different needs. So it's about kind of this step. This is a point about weighing up the pros and cons of various technologies. There's some which are operated manually. They have their own benefits, but have other operational costs around them that need to be thought about in advance. And then also there's now automatic products coming to market, so they may reduce some of the uncertainty around user involvement, but again they've got other considerations. Thinking about future-proofing it as well, so this is just things around, is there a high rate of tenancy turnover in the area? In which case you might have to think about, well, who's going to be the future user of these technologies? Factoring in a changing climate, so there's kind of advice around ways of doing that and other things to go to. Step three, I guess it's a property survey, but it's one that a lot of the solutions, I think, needs to be stressed, will need to be bespoke, and a number of technologies will be needed. It's not just kind of what one fits into one property. There's going to be a number of things. So something that we found a lot of property owners saying was that they weren't expecting to have two surveys. So somebody comes and does a flood risk mitigation survey, and then the manufacturer would come and do a property survey. And because of the amount of intrusion as well there's going to be some things that need to be factored in around that. And again, should take greater account of building maintenance around the technologies, which has a factor on whether they work or not in a flood situation. Step four is the sort of design and specification stage. It's about making technologies that are acceptable to the end users. It's about them being aesthetically attuned. It's all about increasing acceptability of the products. Thinking about the future needs of the end user should be designed in with it. And something that a lot of local authorities had already put some schemes into practice, said a lot of time needs to be factored in to agree a package of measures with property owners. Step five, installation. Again, it's about making the end users aware that there's going to be installers coming in. It's good practice to get the work signed off. We've found on a lot of occasions that it wasn't happening. So then if there was a perceived, if a technology didn't work, there was question marks over, well, is it the installation or is it something else? So kind of just having these steps around kind of making sure that it's all signed off and recorded. And then at the very end, I think it's the Environment Agency, the flood risk report, so another flood risk mitigation survey should be carried out to assess the levels of residual risk that remain. And just perhaps the last step, which again, it's hard to say that one's more important than the other, but this is probably the one that's there's a lot of work around doing, and that's around maintenance and operation. I've heard lots of stories. I think the cat flap in the flood doors, something that's kind of gone down and, well, so it became very well known from the people that we've spoken to. There's other things as well, people just not storing the products correctly, so kind of and not understanding around that, not understanding that they have to be maintained. Usually kind of annually, biannually. Sometimes we did, the National Flood Forum helped us do a survey of property owners who already had technologies installed, and some of them said that they weren't actually, they were only given verbal instructions of how to maintain the products. So it's kind of important that there's things factored in around this. Again, the tendency towards automatic products is usually called fit and forget, but it's not quite right because you can't really forget about them because again, they have to be maintained properly. And I think the big thing and what a lot of the case studies in that guidance stress is the establishment of flood action groups and operational plans to support the FRE technologies, because technologies won't just work on their own. There's a social aspect to it. So again, it's just stressing the importance of flood action groups and having proper plans in place. So I think that's it for the 6. Yeah, that's it. We've got to the thank you slide. Like I say, there's a lot of people involved. So at Manchester, Nigel, Paul O'Hare, who's at the back taking pictures. BRE, we had Stephen and Katie Hunter. We had a national support group in Smartest, which is made up of a lot of people, DEFRA, the FPA, ABI, some of the Environment Agency, and so on. And then obviously we got to have a huge thanks to our wider Smartest team who came from France, Germany, the Netherlands, Spain, Cyprus, Greece, and Washington in the USA. So these are all the people that have kind of helped bring it to bear. So thank you.